Greetings, everybody. I am Lobo, and welcome to Luna. This is episode 120 of my Minecraft survival series, and we've made a lot of progress around Luna lately. We've built a lot of stuff, we've done a lot of good stuff for Luna, but despite all that, not everything is awesome here. And there's one major concern above all others, and that is this corruption right here. It's something I've been concerned about. It's something the guys at Wolfins Labs have been concerned about because it's slowly spreading throughout all of our lands here and following the path of the netherworm into Luna, basically, you know? It's very, very, very concerning. Fortunately, though, Wolfred thinks he might have a solution to our problem. So, what we're going to do real quick is visit him over at Wolfins Labs and see what his plans are to deal with all of this. Now, we're not going to meet Wolfred at his office because, well, he's got something to show me here in the quarantine district. He asked me to meet him over at R.A.I.D.D.D, actually. I failed to clarify which R.A.I.D.D he wanted to meet at, though. The Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Development Defense Division, or the Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Development Decoy Division. I'm going to go ahead and assume the Defense Division because decoy doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. We're not going to decoy the corruption. I mean, that would just be silly, right? We have to defend against the corruption, so he must be down here somewhere. Wolfred! You around, Wolfred? No? This is where Wolfins Labs makes their robots, by the way. R.A.I.D.D, Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Development, whichever division. As the name implies, this is the production facility for their various robots. Where could he possibly be? There's only 2 production areas in this place. It's not huge or anything like that. Wolfred! Hey, there you are. I've been looking all over for you. Anyway, what is this plan I've been hearing so much about? Oh, the plan is written down right here, huh? Alright, well, let me take a peek at this bad boy and see what this is all about. The WLPKO1 Peacekeeper. Are you sure? It's time for this, huh? Okay. The WLPKO1 Peacekeeper V2, it's something I've been very hesitant to bring into Luna, but now might be the time. The PKO1 Peacekeeper is a fully automated mobile weapons platform developed to quickly and efficiently bring an end to any conflict. With a heavy armor plating covering all essential systems, the Peacekeeper is virtually indestructible. Customizable with and able to simultaneously operate a wide variety of weapon systems, the Peacekeeper is a top-of-the-line platform perfectly suited for even the most hostile environments. Well, if there ever was a hostile environment, this world-ending corrupted environment is it, right? So this is our ace in the hole. This is how we get rid of it. Okay, let's do it. Now, even though we've never seen the Peacekeeper production model here in Luna, the concept of a Peacekeeper robot has been around for a long time. You might remember in Season 1, we ran into this guy, the WLPKO1 Peacekeeper prototype. It's not much to look at. But even this little thing right here, it was, you recall, very, very dangerous. I mean, not all my hair has even grown back from the last time we saw this thing in action, which is why I've been very hesitant to build up the production model of the Peacekeeper robot. But I guess since Wolfred's in charge now, since his father is no longer running the place, it's in much better hands. The Peacekeeper will be much better utilized, and I'm sure only deployed in the most appropriate situations, right? Now, I just had to look at the schematics for the WLPKO1 Peacekeeper production model, and it is going to be much bigger, much stronger than the prototype we looked at previously. It's going to make use of some of our newest, most advanced materials, which means I'm going to go ahead and need to start getting some stuff put together here. But I mean, it's all for the best. I'm still trying to convince myself that this is the right move, but it must be, because if you want something eradicated, and we do want this corruption eradicated, the Peacekeeper is the way to do it. Oh, nope. Ow. They're fine. You didn't see nothing. Nobody saw anything. I don't walk in walls. You walk into walls. I know my way around here. Don't be ridiculous. Actually, maybe I'm getting a little too far ahead of myself, because I heard the word robot and I got very excited about a robot, but we can't build the robot until we build a production facility in which to build that robot. So, before we build the robot, we're going to go ahead and build the production facility in which we will build a robot. So if it wasn't clear what I meant by that last clip, which it probably wasn't, what I meant was I have shifted focus from gathering resources to build the robot to gathering resources to build the production facility, because that's going to be the first thing we're going to work on. Now, the production area for the PK-01 Peacekeeper is going to be very similar to these production areas we have for the other Wolfins laboratory robots, with the exception that it's going to be bigger, because the Peacekeeper is going to be bigger. This is going to be the biggest of the Wolfins laboratory robots that have been created thus far. Now, fortunately, we have reserved an area for it, though I'm not actually completely sure this is going to be enough space. That's alright, though. What do we do if we don't have enough room? We make the room, right? So I went ahead and put a beacon up here, haste beacon, because we're going to be clearing out a little bit of area downstairs. So I've gone ahead and measured out how big I want this room to eventually be, and it is going to be a big room, and we're going to run into some obstacles as we build this room, because as you can see over here on this side, it's going to extend past where our basalt area is, so we'll have to figure out some way to work that into the build. It'll extend past where our elevator shaft is right here a little bit, so we'll have to incorporate that into the build. It's going to extend into this mountain, so we'll have to carve that out, and it is also going to extend past where our corridor is right here, so we will be incorporating this into the build as well. So yeah, obstacles, but they'll just serve to make the build more interesting, right, as we continue to build this thing up. So at this point, I think what we're going to do is just go ahead and call R.A.I.D.D on over, put on a little bit of music, and just see what we can do with this. Welcome back, everybody. The production area for the WLPK01 Peacekeeper is not complete. I mean, we do have the basic structure of the room in, so that's good, but as you can see, or as you probably can't see, there's still a lot that needs to be done here. It is very dark, first of all. We will need to add some lighting in here eventually, but we want to maintain it being a dark area. It's part of the atmosphere, right? But we don't have any of the entryways into the room done yet. We don't have any of the machinery that will eventually be building the Peacekeeper in here yet. The reason why I haven't done the entryways is because I need to take a little bit more time, kind of figure out how I want to route my stairs, because this right here, this is not going to work for me. But, I mean, we do have a good start, I'd say. A good start. Actually, I think I might want to rework all of R.A.I.D.D.D, with the exception of the production areas, because, you know, the two wide walkways here, that's not really working for me. The cramped little stairways, that's not really working for me. It doesn't really, I don't know, it just doesn't really mesh with what we got going on down here, I'm thinking. So, yeah, we're gonna make R.A.I.D.D.D itself as a whole a little bit bigger. I mean, not like absurdly big or anything, but, oh, this is just too cramped. As there's not like there's a reason for the corridors to be as cramped as they are, because we do have plenty of room here to expand upon them. We're not really running into a whole lot of size constraints as far as the corridors are concerned. So yeah, I don't see any reason why we shouldn't do that. Hello? Listen, you can't be down here, you can't be brandishing your axe at me. I don't know who you think you are, but this is private property. Now, under normal circumstances, I'd ask security to escort you out. Unfortunately, I don't have any security on staff at the moment, so you just gotta go. So since I do want to shift focus to our corridors, and we're going to be reworking these corridors, it would make sense to go ahead and start moving my little work area. That way it's not taking up space. That way we can actually see what we're working on, right? So let's go ahead and find a less convenient location for all this stuff. Well, that should do it. We do have a bunch of foxes out here for some reason, all gathering over here. Can y'all not get out? Is that what it is? No, y'all can't get out. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and let these foxes out. Now, we are going to be sharing this area, foxes, so I'm going to need you to make a promise. You can't steal my stuff, all right? You've already been stealing my stuff. Look at that. Y'all are just the rudest. Now, as I was saying, we're not going to make any of these corridors absurdly big or anything, but I do want them to be a little bit wider and a little bit more interesting. So we'll have like kind of a rounded wall here. Get rid of all the straight 90-degree angles and stuff like that to kind of go with these production areas, which are kind of rounded themselves. Yeah, give me a few minutes. I'm going to, I don't know, draw out some rough outlines of how I want this to look. A lot of these areas, like this back area right here, I can't really get an outline in for this because I need to figure out what these stairs are going to look like, what the stairwell is going to be like before I can actually do that. So what I'm thinking is it might be a good idea to go ahead and just start getting some of this stuff built and kind of outline plan as we go along and build, right? Now that might not make a whole lot of sense, but you know, sometimes the measure twice, cut once approach is just less interesting for me, and I'd rather just start cutting. So at this point, before we get back to the PK01 production area, I'm thinking I want to go ahead and do the corridors of R.A.I.D.D.D. So let's call Dee back on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. R.A.I.D.D is still not complete. But I mean, the Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Development Defense Division is at least a little bit more complete than it was before, so we got that going for us. But it was just so cramped as I was making my way through here before as we were working on the Peacekeeper area, because we had these little 2 wide corridors, half of which the space was taken up by these light fixtures over here. So now we've inset those. We've also put labels up on the walls to indicate that the WLSBO4 gatekeeper is housed down here. We do have some wider open areas. I'll probably want to do a little something extra with this, but not too much, since I do want to maintain that this is an underground facility that was carved out. We have the PKO1 production area, which is located down here, and we do have all the entrances and exits into this room now built. I do have also an observation window over here, which I need to kind of put smooth stone slabs under that because I don't want to see the floor through the ceiling, because that's kind of awkward. I will get around to that eventually, but let's go ahead and finish touring this area. So looking down from the observation area, this is what you will see, plus a big old robot. Now, there is an alternate way you can get down here to see the big old robot. That is down this stairway right here, which also leads you into the Peacekeeper production area. But not only that, this stairwell is what also leads to the SBO1 Cerberus production area. We have a new route down here. Made some changes to this room. We also added an observation window up there, little one, that we can see from the second floor as well. So let's go ahead and make our way back up to the second floor. So yeah, I've kind of changed the routes that go to our old production areas as well. But this is the observation window looking down into the Cerberus room. And finally, we have another route that leads us down to the opposite end of the Peacekeeper production area right here. And this is what we need to get started working on. So first things first, before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and grab some smooth stone, take care of the underside of that floor. Now, I mean, as far as design choices go, like, I realize that this isn't the most exciting area. You know, we're using a very gray color palette. Everything is very gray, even though it's different shades of gray. It's still very gray, very monotone. And I realize that our corridors don't have a whole lot of, you know, depth to them or anything like that. Everything's very flat. But, you know, I just want you to know those are conscious decisions on my part. Because remember, this is the Wolfins laboratory quarantined district. It's not supposed to be pretty. It's not supposed to be pretty, but it is supposed to be atmospheric. And that's why we have this room so dark. And why we built it of mostly non-spawnable blocks. We have stairs going up our walls here. We have slabs here. We have buttons and redstone torches surrounding the production pad. And down here in this deep, dark, dangerous hole, we have glass over black concrete, so it's actually not that deep, not that dangerous. And despite how dark this room is, that means it shouldn't spawn mobs anywhere. At least I hope it doesn't. Now, there is such a thing as too dark, and we don't want this room to be too dark. We want to add at least a little bit of low-power lighting, very sparsely throughout this room, just so we can kind of see the details, and also that emphasizes the shadowy areas, right? Now, this is very similar to what we've done in the other production areas of R.A.I.D.D, and yeah, I like it. Now, I did say I wanted to do a little something to this area just to kind of liven it up a little bit. I'm thinking maybe just making a space for some research materials might do the trick. I don't want to add too much more than this because I do want it to still be very gray, but I think that does help out quite a bit. But now it's time to start building what we've been waiting to build this entire episode, the PKO1 Peacekeeper production model. So this is just the prototype. This is a very undersized, underpowered version of what we will be building today. What we're going to be building today is much more advanced, uses much more advanced technologies and much more advanced materials. A few of which I still need to go and collect. Just a few. Not that many. Oh, this is going to be a big boy. That's a very widthy track right there. Also a very lengthy wheelbase. All right, so let's go ahead and start putting this guy together. We're going to start from the bottom and then work our way up. Whose genius idea was it to include glazed terracotta in the build for a robot? I mean, why do we need glazed terracotta for a robot? Hey, I got something. This is going to take a while. Aha! Gotcha! So now that I seem to have figured out what I'm doing, finally, I'm thinking in an effort to not waste any more of my time or yours, it would probably be a good idea to go ahead and call R.A.I.D.D on over here, put on a little bit of music, and get the PKO1 Peacekeeper built. Why did I take down these I didn't need to take down these slime blocks. Welcome back, everybody. Wolfins Labs finally has its Peacekeeper robot. And it is a very big robot outfitted with some very big weaponry. The WLPKO1 Peacekeeper is outfitted with these massive cannons on each of its arms here, which under normal circumstances I'd say is very formidable, right? But against something like the Corruption, I'm not sure that arm cannons are the way to go, but I mean, I guess Wolford knows best, right? I don't know. How's this going to work, R.A.I.D.D? How are the arm cannons going to help us at all?
The PKO1 Peacekeeper is a weapons platform. The arm cannons installed on this model are only one of a variety of weapons systems with which the PKO1 can be outfitted. An area of effect explosive ordnance dispersal system can be used with this platform, which might prove more effective with dealing with the Corruption.
An area of effect explosive ordnance dispersal system. Yeah, that seems like that might do the trick. That seems very formidable. This is just the base model then. It can be outfitted with whatever it takes to handle whatever situation it finds itself in. Which is why I made a deal with Wolford. I would build this, but it can never be autonomous. We need to have a pilot guiding these at all times. Now, due to a lack of volunteers, it looks like I'm going to be piloting the PKO1 that we bring up against the Corruption. I've familiarized myself with the controls, kind of. I figured out that these switches back here operate the doors. So that's something. As far as what these other controls here do, well, I don't know if I want to really experiment in this enclosed area, so I might hold off on that until, I've had an opportunity to peruse the owner's manual. But man, next episode we're going to bring one of these out to the approach, square off against the Corruption, and just see what happens. Oh boy. But that is not only the PKO1 Peacekeeper complete, that is the entirety of the Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Development Defense Division of Wolfins Laboratory complete. This was the extent of Wolfins Labs' plans for this place. So not only did we get the robot built, we also got another area of our world done. And to think, I was scared of just this prototype being in our world. That is just craziness. Now I have something much bigger to be scared of. But I do think that's going to be it for us today, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to hit that little thumbs up button. That would mean a whole lot to me. And if you want to see more, please remember to subscribe. But as always, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I am Lobo, and I will see you guys later.